Hello YouTube and people of the interwebs, welcome back to another Doctor Who video. Today we've got a pretty exciting thing to discuss. The Church on Ruby Road, the 2023 Doctor Who Christmas special, the first one we've had since way back in 2017. We've got non-spoiler reviews to read and analyse and go through in this video. Now obviously these specials star Ncuti Gatwa as the 15th Doctor and Millie Gibson as new companion Ruby Sunday. I would technically say this is Ncuti's first full episode, but he was in quite a lot of last week's episode, The Giggle, which, yeah, he was fantastic in the 20-30 minutes that he had on screen. From the moment he says, like, I've bi-generated, you can see the energy of the Doctor in him. He's commanding the room and it's utterly fantastic. So I can't wait to delve into these reviews of Doctor Who's Christmas special, in which we get him as the full-time Doctor. Our first one here is from SFX magazine. Now, I'll link the full article in the description. I'm only going to read little bits of this and discuss my thoughts. It's written by Darren Scott. Links in description. Doctor Who Christmas Special 2023 review. Ncuti Gatwa and Millie Gibson make the perfect pairing for a new era. Right off the bat, review discusses the fact that this is kind of like a soft reboot, which I've been hoping for so long. It's been so difficult to get new Doctor Who fans, or to get people who haven't ever watched Doctor Who before into the show, because you have to kind of go, oh yeah, a great starting point is, well, you could start with series 1, but then you've got 13 seasons and some specials to catch up with, or you could, I don't know, start with series 2, but then you might as well start with series 1. I suppose you could start with series 5, that's a good point, but then there's still quite a lot, so maybe series 10, but then it gets quite lore heavy at the end, so maybe series 11, and it's all a bit of a faff. This article points out that it's as much of a jumping on point as Rose was in 2005. You don't need to know anything or anyone, though some nods are present to recent events in the life of the Doctor. You can literally just get whisked away on the adventure. Now, I think this is brilliant for a Christmas special, because typically, viewing figures wise, Christmas specials get the highest ratings of most Doctor Who stories. So after there hasn't been a Christmas episode for about 5 or 6 years, bringing back Doctor Who on Christmas, getting the Goblin song to #1 in the UK charts, it's pushing this publicity. We just come off the back of David Tennant, and hopefully a bunch of the British public are optimistic and tune in to watch this. Also, I keep just talking about Britain, it's going on Disney Plus in the rest of the world. Hopefully this brings in new audiences. Disney Plus have talked about the fact that they're going to start properly marketing Doctor Who for Ncuti's era, for the new era, and you can kind of see that already with their exclusive Church on Ruby Road teaser trailer, which was so cool. Anyway, this whole whisked away business, that's exactly what happens for Ruby, a foundling trying to reconnect with her birth parents via Davina McCall's TV show. So yeah, if they can get the rights, they're definitely canonising Long Lost Families as a TV show within Doctor Who, which I think's pretty funny. But Ruby's plagued with bad luck, which comes to a head when the baby she's watching for her foster mother mysteriously disappears. I'm presuming that the baby we see in the Goblin song, who's sort of on a conveyor belt about to be fed to the gigantic Goblin King, that's going to be the baby that Ruby's mum is fostering. So, interesting dynamic there, and it does now make sense why Ruby is clinging to that ladder that's going off to the Goblin ship, rather than it just being a bit random. I'm excited to see where that goes. This is Doctor Who meets Gremlins, with lashings of snow and Carol of the Bells, with some fantastic stunts and special effects, making it once again feel like a feature film. That's really cool. I think this is where the Disney budget is properly going to shine through, which is exciting because the 60th for the most part did look fantastic. I know everyone always says it whenever there's a new season of Doctor Who, but it quite literally was the best Doctor Who has ever looked. And even the Christmas special, it looks like a step up. The music is sweeping, the jokes are plentiful, and the teasers of what's to come are tremendous. In short, it's a win. Gibson is a joy as Ruby. She's Rose 2.0, or is that now 3.0, in that she's got everything a classic companion should have, and you immediately fall in love with her. Now, I'm going to presume that this is, it's said in a positive light, but I don't want just a clone of Rose, and I don't think that's what it means. This quote is more so saying she is a brilliant audience surrogate that the audience can, fully relate to and enjoy. And if you've never seen the show before, you can see the show first time through Ruby's eyes, rather than her just being a clone of Rose, because I don't want Shooty to be going through his entire tenure. Oh no, Ruby, like Tennant did. Ruby. Sorry for the horrific musical outburst there. It's almost as if I'm an RTD episode. Musical outbursts? We're getting a musical episode as well, but that's for another video. But what about the 15th Doctor himself? Well, from the short stuff we've seen, he's brilliant, but fear not, Gatwa is spectacular as the Doctor. There's no baggage here, just style and comedy and smarts in an abundant supply. The chemistry between the pair is instant and brilliant, the perfect pairing for a new era. The supporting cast are also excellent, with equal parts comedy and tragedy from Michelle Greenidge and Angela Winter as Ruby's mum and Carla, the grandmother, Sherry. Anita Dobson's nosy neighbour, Miss Flood, is great fun, sitting on her doorstep watching the world go by. That's exciting to hear. One of the big parts of Russell's original era that I really, really love is all the domestic side of stuff, because I think it makes Doctor Who feel so real. I've said this in quite a few videos before, but my favourite sort of Doctor Who stories are when they're set on Earth, which I know that might be a controversial take, but I love the blend of the real world, heightened drama, and then just whack a, like, alien, like a Jadoon, a rhino in Gloucestershire. That's really, really fun. Witches at the Globe Theatre, really, really fun. Daleks patrolling down London, great fun. The Toymaker dancing around Bristol, I love that sort of stuff, and I think that's what this episode's going to have. So yeah, that's really, really exciting. The adventure rushes along at a brisk pace. Probably no bad thing when the lead characters are flying through the sky on a ladder hanging from a goblin ship. But it very much leaves you wanting more. In a crowded genre landscape, it seems like 2024 is definitely going to be the year of the Doctor and Ruby. That's our first review, and it's glowing praise. They've even given it 5 stars. If that doesn't hype you up, I don't know what will. The 60th specials were brilliant, but I think I might even be possibly slightly more excited for this, because Tennant and Tate are my childhood, and I love them, but we've seen them before. This is new. I know we've seen a tiny bit of Shooty, but this is fully new. This is the first big revival of Doctor Who we've had in years, and I think it's going to go down as a smash hit, as talked about in the Radio Times here, where they haven't quite given it 5 stars, they've given it 4 stars, but that's still a very, very strong rating. Doctor Who, The Church on Ruby Road, a fantastical reinvention. Once again, they're using the word reinvention. This is going to feel new and fresh, which is brilliant because, Doctor Who has felt a little bit kind of, even the 60th kind of, yep, that's the Doctor Who I'm used to. I am more in the mood for some new Doctor Who. New Who. If the 60th episodes were Russell T Davies playing his greatest hits, this is him setting out his stall and establishing the kind of show that he wants his new Doctor Who to be. He's not just come back to rake over old ground, as this festive hour makes abundantly clear. Far from any sort of rehash, The Church on Ruby Road is a fantastical reinvention. Once again, glowingly positive. And later on in this review, they sort of compare it to other films. I mean, here they say that this Doctor Who debut is a romp heavily inspired by the 1986 fantasy film Labyrinth. Now, I assume that's all the goblins and like the kind of puppet-looking stuff that's happening in this episode. Obviously, there's CGI and practical elements as well, but it's all blended together really nicely on a Disney budget, with just a dash of Christmas classic. Though to say which one would be straying into spoiler territory. But let me know your theories in the comments down below of which Christmas classic you think this could be referencing. Here's what's really, really interesting about this review. It was kind of mentioned in the SFX one about the Doctor's past being hearkened to, but here they confirm that the Doctor and Ruby are kindred spirits, both foundlings who were abandoned by their birth families and then adopted. Far from ignoring the show's timeless child reveal, Davies has placed the Doctor's newfound status at the heart of his bond with his new best friend. Now, that is incredibly interesting. I mean, we know that Russell is fully keeping all the canon of the Chibnall era. The Flux has been mentioned twice now, and I'm glad that those events had like proper long-lasting repercussions on Doctor Who, because it would have been very easy for Russell to come in and sort of go, nah, we'll ignore it. But I was one of the few fans, it seems, who genuinely kind of enjoyed The Timeless Child and those episodes and that reveal. So yeah, I'm very, very glad, and without it being too distracting or lore-heavy, that the Doctor and Ruby can relate in such a way and continue those Chibnall plot threads into the new era. That does bring us to the end of this review video. If you did enjoy, please do remember to like, comment, subscribe, you know the drill. Turn on the notification bell to make sure you don't miss out on a single piece of Doctor Who content, because there's so much stuff happening now. I'm going to be uploading loads of videos about this new era, so if that's what's interesting to you, make sure you're subscribed. Thank you very much for watching, and goodbye.